I want this grade in this class. So I said, I want an A in algebra. And then I filled out all the other things, and my SMART goal ended up being this semester, I want to achieve a 90% or better in class by studying with a tutor and with my friends in the math lab throughout each unit and checking in with my teacher weekly.
That is a smart goal.
Thank you.
I like how it was specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely.
Check all the boxes.
Does anybody else want to share their SMART goal? That was a great one though, so nobody else needs to because we can just leave it as perfect.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think what makes it such a good goal is the fact that you could look every single week at your goal and see, all right, did I achieve this goal every single week by going in for help once a week and stuff like that. So I think that's what makes the goal, is when you can actually visually see, yes, I'm doing this, I'm following along, instead of being more general. So excellent goal. All right.
Okay, so we do have a couple articles that did different studies on self-assessing and goal setting. The first one was Goal Setting and Student Achievement, a longitudinal study, which was a 5-year quasi-experimental study that was on goal setting and student achievement in a high school Spanish class. And what they did was they implemented Linguafolio, which was a portfolio that focused on student self-assessment, goal setting, and a collection of language achievements. It was done at 23 different high schools with 1,273 students, and what it showed was that it was statistically significant positive relationship between proficiency in writing of goals, action plans, and reflections, which then meant that a learner was more practiced and skilled at goal setting, relates better to positively higher language achievement in Spanish.
And then what I found was called goal setting and self-assessment in year 7 students. So it was for 7th grade students, they had to do a pre and a post, like journal entries of kind of what they were working on, and their main goal was trying to fix their spelling and punctuation and achieve more in those areas. So they kind of worked on mini lessons throughout. So they had their journal entry they originally worked on, they had mini lessons, and they were kind of self-assessing themselves throughout, like what do they need to work on to meet their spelling and punctuation goals. And then as they continued to self-assess and they had their goals, eventually by the end they had 57 out of the 62 7th grade students had improved on their spelling and punctuation. So almost all of them had made that achievement and had reached their goal and were successful with what they were supposed to accomplish with that. So then they also talked about how students demonstrated a feeling of confidence with their writing because they had reached their goal and they felt that they were more capable as writers in terms of punctuation and spelling by the end.
And then the article I had was Improving Students' Exam Performance by Introducing Study Strategies and Goal Setting. Basically what they did was they took a look at the freshmen, and they had, at the end of the class period each day, they had half of the freshmen work on goal setting, and the other half of the freshmen were just doing some sort of like brain teasers or something like that. And the freshmen that actually worked on the goal setting during this time, their test scores were way higher than the students that did not set goals. It was actually done at the college level, and they came to the conclusion that a lot of this was not done at the high school level, where they didn't really work on setting goals. And so at the college level, I know if I think back to my freshman year at college, there's definitely those kids that, I mean, you see in class, you're supposed to see them 3 times a week, you see them like once a week, and they don't really have goals set, or they don't turn things in, and you don't see them after the semester, after their freshman year. It's difficult for some students to get through their freshman year. So I think if we can instill this at a younger age, that by the time they get to college, they're well prepared and they have a better chance for success.
So we've got a couple of self-assessment examples, and as we're going through these, we're going to kind of open it up to you guys to tell us what you think is good about it, what you think needs to be worked on, when you could use it, what you would change.
So here's the first one, pretty simple looking. What obviously could be improved for this, and what are some things that maybe are okay with how it's worded or created?
I think that the better next time piece is good because it's not like wrong or like you don't feel as defeated. Like you feel like you can have like a chance to like get better the next time.
Right, there's an area for growth there.
Not too harsh.
I could see kids getting confused, like, what does great but good effort, like, what does that look like? So maybe they would get confused as to, like, what each of those steps would look like.
Right, maybe there's too many or they just need more
So they can
instruction.
talk
on
about what
means.
each one looks like
Mhm.
beforehand.
I don't know if you noticed too, but the face on the far left is kind of gives students an opportunity to draw. This I would assume being more of an elementary kind of level, but kind of cool for students to draw a big smiley face, frown face, their attempt at a questioning sideways face. I think that's good for students to kind of express themselves a little bit.
Sarah, you gonna say something?
I don't know if I like my friend size part. Like I just thinking, with the article that you guys had, like especially those like higher level kids, like I don't know if it was actually in your article or something else we read, but so much of like comparing themselves to someone else, and we want to like get that away where it's like I'm challenging myself. I want to do better than I did. So I don't know if I like that.
Not even having those just worrying about that
Yeah.
one person.
Okay, so this one is all I can statements, and the front side is like their prerequisites. It's rated 1 through 4 with different smiley faces, and I can identify the terms, I can distribute, and then on the back side it was like the pre-unit and the post-unit with the same I can statements, so they can compare to before the unit they felt this, now after the unit they think this.
Something you like, something you don't like.
I like that this addresses like the prerequisite information instead of just the unit that's coming, so that teacher can get an idea of like, where do I maybe need to do a day of review, or which kids do I need to work backwards with.
I think something with self-assessments, the kids run out of gas on them, and this just feels
Really long.
Like that last one's 3 quick questions, and granted there weren't like multiple objectives that you were looking at there, but I don't know, like it's kind of like when you fill out like evaluations after the PD or something, it's like not care about this anymore. Like you get to that point, and I just think like you could trim that to 6, 7, 8, and then put it there.
Or you can even break it apart and do the self-assessments periodically throughout the unit as those standards have come up.
Well, so we use this, and what I was going to say in the reflection is that they kind of just like quickly go through it, but we do it within the lessons too. So it's almost like, do we really need this at the beginning if we're doing it between each lesson? Right. Anyone else?
All right. This was a